Bear is overflowing with soul and bursting with energy. The pace is kinetic, the characters complex, but the show also possesses the ability to be patient and profound. Set in a restaurant within the heart of Chicago, The Bear chronicles the turbulent journey of Carmen Verzado, an incredibly talented and extremely conflicted chef. After the suicide of his older brother, Mikey, Carmen returns to his hometown. The show follows Carmen as he navigates an unruly staff, a chaotic kitchen, as well as his own trauma and feelings of grief. The Bear contains sincere relatability, as well as a unique style punctuated by sharp editing and hypnotic cinematography. It is a delicately crafted work of art. The first season sees Carmen attempting to find structure. The opening scene depicts him confronting a caged bear on the State Street Bridge, the place where his brother died. The bear represents Carmen's grief. He tries to calm it and is hesitant to unlock the cage because he knows the aggressive animal will surely overwhelm him. Over the course of the season, Carmen gradually gains the respect of his crew and begins to accept Mikey's death. The second season follows Carmen as he struggles to maintain a work-life balance. He falls in love with a beautiful woman named Claire, but at the same time, he is forced to confront feelings of guilt and self-hatred. The pace of the show, while still energetic at times, slows down substantially. We are given a wider lens into the characters and their personal struggles. A sense of anxiety is amplified due to the countdown. Carmen and Sydney's character arcs mirror one another due to the fact that they're both seeking validation in their own way. All of their hopes and ambitions are imbued in the existence and success of the bear. For a long time, television was widely regarded as a lesser medium when compared to film. HBO has had an immense impact, starting with shows like Oz, a gritty prison drama released in 1997, which paved the way for darker, more character-driven narratives. But it wasn't until The Sopranos was released in 1999 that people began to truly notice the storytelling potential that the television format possessed. The Sopranos was unlike anything else at the time. The unfolding web of storylines, rich characters, and unflinching depictions of violence were all deeply influential moving forward. Since then, we've gotten shows like Game of Thrones, The Wire, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, 6 Feet Under, Mad Men, Deadwood, Rome, True Detective, Succession, and Atlanta, just to name a few. Acclaimed series unified by their focused and distinct artistic visions and sizable budgets. The gap in quality between television and film has gradually dissipated over the course of many years. The Bear is no stranger to enlisting the prowess of acclaimed actors. With only 2 seasons under its belt, the show has already reserved its place among the pantheon of prestige television. The show's distinct style is accentuated by whipped zooms, frenetic editing, delicate framing, and long takes. The city is shown in panning and sweeping shots. Meanwhile, the kitchen is a claustrophobic and suffocating environment. The camera gets up close and personal at times, heightening the sense of dread. The energetic pace allows for the show to have a consistent forward momentum. Pressurized, high-octane moments in the kitchen are mirrored by fast-paced editing. Yet when needed, it is able to slow down and allow the characters time to breathe. Long takes effectively convey a sense of chaos. Action sequences especially benefit from the use of long takes, allowing us to see every blow dealt, unimpeded by distracting cuts. They also heighten anxiety and drama. Birdman, a tense film composed primarily of long takes, depicts the hectic process of a theater production. Climax sees a group of dancers in an abandoned school experiencing a nightmarish psychedelic trip. The 1957 classic, 12 Angry Men, is set predominantly in a single room. The narrative is propelled by intimate, interpersonal conflicts as opposed to physical action. Confined spaces elevate intrusive cinematography and storytelling. The 7th episode of the show's freshman season is my personal favorite of the entire series so far. It is the culmination of several story arcs. Sydney's desire for validation and her unresponsiveness to Carmen's authority, the feud between her and Richie, Marcus and his rigid path to perfection impeding the flow of the kitchen, and Carmen's anger issues all come to a head. Set in real time, the episode is 20 minutes of well-oiled disarray. the focus shifts from character to character, the camera panning and biting in conjunction with the episode's disorderly rhythm. The final episode of the second season applies a similar tension. During the opening of The Bear, we maneuver back and forth from the kitchen to the dining area. The unrelenting nature of the kitchen, illuminated by beaming lights, opposes the darkened, subdued setting on the other side. The mixing pot of characters and the weight of this built-up event creates an incredible display of filmmaking. The heart of The Bear is its deeply complex and relatable characters. There is an abundance of implied history, but it isn't until Fishes, the 6th episode of the second season, that we are given insight into Carmen's dysfunctional family. His mother is an unstable, anxiety-ridden alcoholic. As she cooks the family a Christmas dinner, we see where Carmen's ability to operate in a chaotic kitchen stems from, as well as his feelings of inferiority as the youngest child when Mikey and Richie pester him about Claire. Carmen's eagerness to work in his brother's restaurant is a common point of contention. He desperately desires his brother's validation. This sets Carmen on a path to become the best chef he can possibly be, to prove himself.
He stopped letting me into the restaurant a couple of years ago. He just cut me off cold, and that hurt, you know? And I think that flicked this switch in me where I was like, okay, fuck you. Watch this. And because we had this connection through food, and he had made me feel so rejected and lame and shitty and uncool, I made this plan where I was gonna go work in all the best restaurants in the world. You know, like I'm gonna go work in real kitchens, like fuck mom and dad's piece of shit, right? And it sounds ridiculous, you know, me saying that now, but that's what I did. And I got the shit kicked out of me. And I separated herbs, and I shucked oysters and clams and uni. And I cut myself, and I got garlic and onions and peppers in my fingernails and in my eyes, and my skin was dry and oily at the same time. I had calluses on my fingers from the knives, and my stomach was fucked, and it was everything.
The end of Fishes sees the room erupt after the feud between Mikey and Lee reaches a boiling point. Donna ends up driving a car into the side of the house. The family is a fractured mess.
Open the door! Mom! Mom! Mom!
This is exemplified by Carmen's initial inability to connect to Sugar and Richie. He keeps others at arm's length. Over the course of time, the crew in the kitchen begin to implement themselves as Carmen's source of familial connection. Sydney is an impatient yet extremely skilled young chef. Like Carmen, she too wants to prove herself. She struggles with asserting herself in the kitchen and maintaining a sense of authority. This is exemplified by her relationship with Tina, who is initially ambivalent to Sydney's attempts at guidance. When Tina comes to the realization that she wants to learn and improve her skills, Sydney offers her an opportunity, leading to a profoundly beautiful moment where the duo connect on a human level. At the end of the second season, the stress finally compounds on Sydney. She throws up several times. The anxiety and pressure of working in such an environment is a prominent theme. Carmen and Sydney both struggle with maintaining healthy lives, choosing the frenzied lifestyle of the kitchen over their own physical health and mental sanity. Throughout the entirety of the first season, Richie is the biggest source of tension for both Carmen and Sydney. He is a loudmouthed, abrasive individual, stuck to the past and unable to move on. He wants things to stay as they are. This attitude is directly opposed by Carmen's mission to make the restaurant a functional and reputable spot. In the first episode of the second season, Richie confides in Carmen, telling him that he has no purpose, and that his greatest fear is those he's closest to abandoning him. The seventh episode, Forks, shoves Richie into a brand new environment, where he gradually learns the ropes and accepts his role and responsibility within the kitchen. He manifests and creates his own purpose, by realizing that he fundamentally needs to change. Richie also realizes that his greatest skill is connecting to other human beings and relating to others. The phrase "every second counts" is brought up multiple times in the second season, reflecting the dwindling countdown of the restaurant's creation, but also the beauty and significance of detail. Amidst the flow of the kitchen and life, every single moment in detail matters.